tackling a few interesting cases, a bit desperate cases, where the businesses were misled and mistreated by previous SEO agencies, where contracts were locked in and money was taken and meaningless work was done or no work was done. And so as a result, no leads, no inquiries. It's not good. And it's quite a stressful campaign to take on, but I want to help people. And so a lot of the time, many of these cases require website rebuild. Their website just isn't up to scratch. I can't build a skyscraper on this infrastructure, whether it's Wix or Weebly or Squarespace or anything else, or just an aged WordPress. You log in and it's like a game of Jenga. It's like, how am I meant to progress this? It's like taking a BMW engine to Hyundai's dealership or vice versa. So they can probably figure out how to fix things, but it's not worth the time to figure it out. It's much, much easier to actually just do a knockdown and rebuild. So I've got about 4 cases where we're rebuilding the site, but while we're rebuilding the site, we need to start getting leads through the door. Clients just desperate. It's at the stage where it's like things are not looking good. And so the pattern that I've been able to execute quite well over the years is a lot of the time a landing page will go up. Now, if their website is in a good condition, that landing page can go up as a subdomain to their current website, or I slap it on with something like Go High Level or ClickFunnels. Just put a landing page up and run some Google ads, because I know with Google ads, because we run so many Google ads, I can predict that at a cost of $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000, there's going to be some leads through the door. At least at $70, $100, $200 a lead, at least there's some kind of a return for the spend. At least there is some leads coming through the door, right? And so what a lot of the time has happened is we've actually picked up the .au variation of their domain. So if it's eugene.com.au, then I pick up the eugene.au variation. So for a landing page, it's perfect while we build out the rest of the site in the background of that domain. So in other words, the old site is still up. Client is still being seen with the old site. The Google listings is being progressed, so the SEO is kicking off on the Google listing. We're still ordering things like links and citations and stuff like that. We're just not adding those on-page enhancements to the old age site, which is going to go, right? So landing page goes up, conversion tracking goes up, that page is hidden, unique phone number goes up, Google Ads start producing leads. At least there's some leads coming through the door, right? In the background, we're rebuilding the whole site. So for example, if it's a home removalist, a roofer, a plasterer, a pest controller, a window installer, generally speaking, there are suburb related terms. So sometimes we'll build 150 pages, 200 pages, 400 pages of Geo Pages. We only build the pages when there is traffic these days. Before we used to just build all the pages because why not? But now Google's a bit more picky with what it shows. So for a window installer, it might be 20 service pages. For a roof, it might also be 20 service pages. Roof repair, roof leak repair, roof plumbing, all of the services, as long as they do those services. So that happens in the background while the client is getting leads. A lot of the time those leads are positively geared, sometimes they're not, but at least there's leads through the door. You know what happens if you do a good service, word of mouth happens. While the old site is up, this might drag on depending on the complexity of the site. What also can drag on is how powerful their asset is. In other words, have they got any pages that already rank on Google? We have to be much more careful with those pages. We've got to keep them as intact as possible, otherwise redirect them to the closest page. A lot of the time, these websites don't rank anywhere for anything because of mistreatment previously. So it is essentially, there's less stress. Those pages are not getting any rankings or traffic. But yeah, it's a workflow that's currently worked really well for me. Big fan of Go High Level, but I have way more control when it's my own page builder, things like Elementor, or I use personally Beaver Builder. So it's the demo site anyway. So the rest of the site is actually built in the background of it. Once that's ready, we deploy that site as the main client site and then redirect the .au domain to the .com domain. Happy days. A lot of the time, I'll actually pick up a domain for myself. So if I'm building a website for an electrician, I'll build like electrical contractors or electrician Melbourne or electrician Sydney or whatever, and that'll be the demo site for the client. After that, once the demo site is all good, client's happy, I'll deploy that as his and keep the domain. rebuild that, and now Eugene has a website for himself that he progresses through the ranks. Hope that makes sense. Happy days, and look at this crazy weather.